ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीम्
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीम्
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
तत्त्वविवेक प्रकरणं श्लोक नंबर 53। यत्तं वाक्यैस्तदर्थानुसन्धानं श्रवणं भवेत्।
इत्थं वाक्यैस्तदर्थानुसन्धानं श्रवणं भवेत्।
युक्त्या सम्भावितत्वानुसन्धानं मननं तु तत्।
युक्त्या सम्भावितत्वानुसन्धानं मननं तु तत्।
This is a shloka we were discussing. The topic of Shravanam and Mananam being concluded. What is Shravanam? Vakyehi tadartha anusandhanam Shravanam vakyartasya Anusandhanam Shravanam. Vakyarthanusandhanam Shravanam. Ittam. Thus, it means it has been discussed before in all the previous shlokas. Evam Vityartaha. Ittam. Evam. In Anena Prakarena. Purvokta Shlokaihi. That is the meaning. Ittam. Thus. Evam. Anena Prakarena Vakyaihi. What is that Vakya? Mahavakya. Tattvamasyadi Vakyaihi. Either Mahavakya can be Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma, or it can be in the form of a mantra. Like in Mundaka Upanishad, the second Mundaka, second Kanda, what we say, many mantras are Mahavakya mantras. Everything is Brahma, and that Brahma, Yo Veda Nigitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Mahavakya. Bhagavan, who is all pervading, all pervasive, Nikitam Guhayam, is located, its Upalabdhi Sthanam is the Hridaya Guha Mahavakya. That all is inside of a Mahavakya. So, Ittam Vakyehi, Tadartha Vakyartha Anusandhanam, Avagamanam, Katam Vicharena. Katam Vicharena, Shastra Vakya Vicharadvara. Tattamasi, that Vakya Vichara we did, Tat Padam, Tvam Padam, Asi Padam. All the Padams are discussed. What is Tat, what is Tvam, and how it is Aikyam, so Bhagatyaha Lakshanaya. This is revealed by the Shastram. That is the Tatparya of the Shruti. So, therefore, Tattvartha Anusandhana. Therefore, Tatparya Nishchaya of Shastram. Tatparya Nishchaya of Shastram is what happens in Shravanam. Then Mananam removes all the doubts which arises from Pratyaksha, Anubhava, and all other Pratyaksha based Pramanam and arguments. All Pratyaksha based arguments. All these are resolved. The doubts which arises due to that. All these are resolved in Mananam. Therefore, Yuktya Sambhavita. Yuktya Sambhavita Tattva Anusandhanam. Yuktya Sambhavita Tattva Anusandhanam. Tattva Anusandhanam, Tattvartha Avagamanam by Yukti. What Yukti? Shruti Sammata Yukti. The Yukti, the logic, the reasoning in keeping with the Shastra, not outside the Shastra. So Yukti, Yuktya Sambhavita Tattva Anusandhanam. Arriving at clearly, with no doubt, what Shastram has revealed, the Tatparyam. It's called Mananam. And for Tatparyam, we use Shad Lingas. Upakramopasamharaha Abhyaso Purvathapalam Artavadopapattischa Palam Tatparya Nirdaye. All these are Shad Lingas, six lingas. 6 lingas are employed in analyzing the words, the Vakyas of the Shastra, and Tatparyam is arrived. Since Upanishads, the topic is not discussed uniformly, the topics are scattered, therefore, only the Sampradaya, they apply this Shadlinga and establish what is the Tatparyam. And that is Nishchayam, that Nishchaya Jnanam, the Tatparya Nishchaya, that is what happens in Shravanam. Even though the Upanishad doesn't present the subject matter in a step-by-step way, in a way that it is understandable to the listeners. It is not. Upanishad doesn't deal with the topic in a systematic way. The mantras are scattered, so you have to collect the mantras, similarity of the mantras, and then apply the Shadlinga, then present. That is what the Prakarana Grantha, the author of the Prakarana Grantha, does. Like Vidyaranya Muni, this Prakarana Grantha, he presents only what the Shastram says. So there is no systematic presentation. It is not because it was revealed to the rishis. So there is no systematic presentation. Systematic presentation is only for the understanding of certain people, certain adhikaris, who don't have probably the capacity to understand what the Shastrams conveys. So for their easiness, for their understanding, the author of the Prakarana Grantha present in a very systematic way. But the Shruti doesn't present the topic systematically. Shruti is not interested. Shruti wants to convey. Shruti being a Pramana wants to convey what it wants to convey. Then the Vakyas of the Shrutis are analyzed by the Acharyas of the Parampara, and they present in a way the form of the Prakarana Grantha in a systematic way, so that the students listening to that understand it. And after that, if they read the mantras of the Shruti, then it becomes clear what the mantra conveys. So that is how Prakarana Granthas. We have a lot of Prakarana Granthas. So therefore, for Mananam also we have a lot of Grantha. Manana Granthas are there. And this is also one of the Manana Grantha with Panchadasi. Why Mananam is important? By Shravanam alone, job is done. Jnanam happens only through Shastra Vyapara, Pramana Vyapara. When Pramana is operated, free will has got no role to play. We cannot choose to know something. That object is revealed as you operate the Pratyaksha Pramana. Similarly, when Pramana is operated, knowledge happens. Even if you don't want, it happens. But that knowledge is with the doubts. Therefore, only Mananam. And after Mananam, in order to make this knowledge available all the time with you, therefore Nididhyasana. Therefore, this Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana is what we call Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is nothing but this sadhanam for Jnana Nishta. This Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So Mananam and Nididhyasanam, they are only for removing the doubts and Viparita Bhavana, not for producing any new Jnanam, because that happens when the student is exposed to the Shastram, Shruti, Shravanam. By listening, knowledge takes place. Karnendriya is open. So the words enter, and the words, the meaning associated with the words, the Arthaspuranam happens in the Buddhi. Vritti Jnanam happens. That Vritti Jnanam removes the Ajnana Vritti. Agam Samsari Ajnanam. That Ajnana Vritti is knocked off by the Vritti Jnanam. Agam Asamsari. Agam Ajnani, Agam Samsari. That Jnanam, Ajnanam is knocked off by Agam Samsari, Agam Atma, Agam Purnaha, Agam Parichinnaha, Agam Ajnani. Iti, what was that before? Those vrittis, those notions, wrong knowledge is knocked off by the new jnanam. So vritti jnanam. So jnanam is only in the form of the vritti. Jnanam is because we are talking about the vastu which is already gained. It is not something to be gained in time, something to be gained in place. Siddha Vishayatvat. Therefore, what is required is jnanam. And jnanam can be only in the form of vritti, the thoughts, pratyaya. So therefore, the wrong notions, the wrong knowledge, what has been there in the buddhi, that has to be knocked off by the jnanam which is produced by the shastram. Therefore, shravanena jnanam. Only in shravanam jnanam happens. So shravanam alone takes a person to moksha. There is no other sadhanam. There is no doing involved. Mananam and nididhyasanam is only to support, only to support this jnanam happening. Provided the adhikari is not ready. Provided the adhikari has not gained enough chitta shuddhi, chitta nishchalyam, and he has got doubts, not been exposed to this parampara. Therefore, he has got doubts with regard to the shastram and with regard to the teacher, with regard to the parampara, etc. So it's a matter of time. He has to develop Shraddha. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. So that is what Mananam does. And of course, Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is to assimilate what has already been gained in Shravanam. Therefore, it is not going to produce something new. So Shravana Matrena Jnanam. That is why again and again Puja Swamiji, he emphasizes on Shravanam. Shravanam, that is the Shastra Shravanam. While we study Shastram, Mananam is taken care because Purva Pakshis are there. Purva Pakshi will come. Purva Pakshi raises doubts. What doubt we have, that Purva Pakshi, he raises the doubts. He raises similar doubts. The tradition, the Acharya knows what doubts the listeners would have. All those doubts in the form of the opponents, the Purva Pakshi is being raised and it is answered. Why it is done? It is done to produce clear knowledge. Samshaya Ragita Jnana. The doubt removal process. That is what is called Mananam. We have Pratyaksha Anubhava and all our supportive arguments is based on Pratyaksha. It is so strong that the knowledge which is not available for Pratyaksha the Anubhava, it's very difficult to accept. Therefore only doubts. And the doubts only prevents the jnana palam. It is samshaya sahita jnanam. It's samshaya sahita jnanam. That's not jnanam. It is as equivalent as ajnanam only. Samshaya sahita jnanam. Therefore, for clear knowledge, samshaya ragita jnanam, mananam is done. So therefore, for clear knowledge and for the jnana palam. Jnana palam in the sense of that Agam Brahma Asmi, that jnanam is, that palam of the jnanam is that anubhava. Anubhava is not the experience that you see it. That jnana palam, you don't have to wait for the jnana palam. It is here and now. That jnana palam. In spite of listening to Shastram, why that jnana palam, why I don't behave or I don't think myself to be a samsari. Again, I think myself to be samsari because of certain pratibandha obstacles, and the jnanam is not clear. It is that clear knowledge, like Adityavata. You don't doubt the sun. When you see the sunlight is so shining, you don't doubt. As the sun shines in the daytime, so it illuminates all the objects. Like that, the jnanam has not happened in me, in my buddhi. It has not removed the ajnanam. Still, there are notions. This ajnana, vasanas are there lingering. That to go, therefore, only mananam and nididhyasanam. And when that jnanam becomes dridam, that is called jivan mukti. When jnanam becomes dridam by jnana nishta, that is called jivan mukti. So the difference between jivan mukta and the student listening to the shastram is, jivan mukta has got drida jnanam. He sees very clearly. You see as a pot, he sees that as a clay. The vision is different. The vision is obstacle free for the jivan mukta. For you, the pot is real. You give so much importance to the pot. When the pot breaks, you cry. Whereas a Jivan Mukta doesn't cry. He knows the pot cannot really break because it is not there. What is there is only breath, only clay. So therefore, Jivan Mukta doesn't cry. For him, Maranam, Jananam, and all the vikaras happening to the Shariram, it's all nothing but Namarupa. It's bound to happen, therefore, it's not carried over by the changes happening to Anatma. But for us, in spite of Jnanam, we are have Abhinivesha to Namarupa, that Adhikaritvam, that there are lack of Adhikaritvam and also doubts, and the knowledge has been not been completely assimilated. So therefore, the Jnana Palam is not as though is not gained, is not realized. Therefore only Nididhyasanam. Therefore only Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam, the author is going to present in the next shloka. Therefore only here Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Already Mananam done, Nididhyasanam also, already Shravanam done, Nididhyasanam also done. In the form of the Purva Pakshi, we raised the questions and we exposed his doshas, what are the doshas possible, etc. So Purva Pakshi here Tarkika Visa, Nayayikas. There are many Purva Pakshis. Jnana Karma Samuchaya is another Purva Pakshi. In Bhagavad Gita, we came across so many times this Jnana Karma Samuchaya Vadi. One is Karmata, one is Karmakandi. For him, according to him, the entire Shastram, the Tatparya of Shastram is Karma. Entire Shastram has got Tatparya only in Karma. There is nothing other than Karma. It is Eka Shastram. Only Karma, only doing. Amna Yasya Kriyartatvat Anartakyam Adadattana. Jaimini Sutra. That is, the Vakyas of the Shastram has got nothing to do other than karma. So it is Chodaka. It is only to act upon. It is karma Shastram. But for us, it is not. We see very clearly the distinction. Veda Purva, Veda Bhaka. We look upon the Shastram as two parts. Shastra Dvayam. It's not one Shastram, two Shastrams. One is Karma Kanda, other one is Jnana Kanda, Upanishads. Therefore, Anubandha Chatushtayam is different. Anubandha Chatushtayam for Shastram being two, it is different. Therefore, Adhikari also is different. Anubandha Chatushtayam is different, means Adhikari also has to be different. Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandha, Prayojanam, the fourfold, the points, introductory points, it is different for Karmakanda and different for Jnanakanda. Whereas for Karmata, it is only one Anubandha Chatushtayam because Eka Shastram. For it is Shastra Dvayam. It is looked upon as two Shastram. Therefore, different Anubandha Chatushtaya and therefore different Adhikari. And therefore, how can we accept Jnana Karma Samuchaya for moksha? That is why Shankaracharya again and again he dismisses Jnana Karma Samuchaya in the wherever gets chances. And Gita, you see it, we saw many places dismissing Jnana Karma Samuchaya, not only in Gita, wherever, whichever Upanishads, wherever the occasion comes, it dismisses. Jnanam and Karma cannot be combined. The Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi presents arguments so nicely, it will make you, it will tend to make you some compromise. Okay, let us accept karma also. Then it's a problem. Never karma can be accepted as a means for moksha. If you accept even a little, it is like the camel inserting his nose into the tent. Then he will enter in and he will destroy our Siddhanta. Therefore, we don't give even an iota of chance for karma kandi to enter. We never accept jnana karma samuchaya. Even though the arguments are very pleasing, we don't accept, and we have reason for it. Not that we are fanatic about dismissing that. We have reasons. What can karma do? Karma is only for apraptasya prapti. Apraptasya prapti vishaye karma. That which is not gained, to be gained, like dharma, artha, kama, for that karma. We saw in Mundaka, karma can produce only 4 types of phalam. Apyam, samskaryam, utpadyam, vikaryam. If you want to reach something, go somewhere, then karma is involved. If it requires some purification, karma is required. Samskaryam. And vikaryam, if you want to modify something, karma is required. And utpadyam, want to produce something which is newly produced. Then utpadyam, karma. So karma has got only scope in these 4. What about jnanam? What about jnanam? That jnanam for moksha. Moksha, is it to be produced? If it is produced, then it will go away, because producertvat, utpadyatvat, because it is produced. That which is produced in time, therefore subject to limitations. It cannot be nitya. It has to be anitya, anatma only. So atma cannot be produced. Can atma be impure so that you purify it? That also cannot be. If atma is impure and you purify it, again it will become impure. So samskarya karma is also not there for atma. Therefore, atma cannot be produced. How do you know atma cannot be produced? You have seen ayo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. Atma is ajaha. It's not born and cannot undergo any change. Avikaryoyam, avikaryaha, achedyoyam, adagyoyam, avikaryaha, ayam uchyate atma. In Gita, we have seen cannot undergo any change. It cannot undergo any change. It cannot bring also any change. Being what it is. What undergoes changes is only anatma. Therefore, cannot be produced, cannot undergo any modifications. Samskaryam also not possible. Vikara also is not possible. So all these are not possible for Atma. Therefore, Atma is Siddha Vishaya. Siddha Vishayatvat Praptasya Praptihi. Gaining the already gained. It is Bhanam, as we saw here before in the Panchadasi. Bhanetu Abhanam. It is Bhanetu Abhanam. It is known at the same time, not known. It means it is gained at the same time, not looked upon as it is gained. It's as though not gained, because ajnanam, because of ajnanam, that which is already gained, already accomplished, is looked upon as though to be accomplished. Shastram also, through Shastram also, we don't gain something new. Daga to this Atma. So what Shastram as a Pramana does is removes just the Ajnanam. Ajnana Nivritti is the Shastra Pravritti. The Pravritti of Shastram is only in the removal of Ajnanam. Doesn't produce any new Jnanam. Shastram cannot be a Pramanam for Moksha by producing new Jnanam. If it produces new Jnanam, then it is then Shastram becomes Satyam, because it is producing new Jnanam. Shastram is also Mithya after Jnanam. We dismiss Shastram also after Jnanam. Shastram as a Pramanam, as a tool, it is valid till Jnanam is gained. After that, what is the use of Shastram? Shastram also has to be thrown. Shastra Vasana, we say. Shastram also becomes a sort of samsara after some time. That also has to be given up. Once it has served the purpose, it has to be thrown away. Therefore, again and again we say Jnanam and Karma cannot go together. And Mundaka Upanishad, we have seen so many. Plava ete adada yajna rupaha. That karma is plavaha, like a boat, like a flimsy boat with which you cannot cross this ocean of samsara. How this ocean of samsara can be crossed. Because this samsara is because of ajnanam. Therefore, for ajnana nivritti, what is required is jnanam. And that is what the Shastram does. Therefore, there is a clear distinction between karma and jnana. Samuchaya is not possible. You cannot combining these two, jnanam and karma combination gives moksha is not acceptable. Akritaha moksha karmana na bhavati. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya nastya kritena. Nastya kritena. Akritena akrita moksha kritena karmana na bhavati. Moksha is not krita, not produced. Therefore, jnana karma samuchaya vada is dismissed. Because why it is again and again it is restated by Shankaracharya is we always have the tendency to do. We can't remain without doing. We always want to do something, and we think moksha also is something to be gained by doing. Because of our vasana samskaras, we have always gained in the world by doing, not by knowing. Any knowledge you have that you have to convert into work, and by that you gain enumeration or whatever it is, status or recognition, whatever it is. But here it is not. Since our pravritti is always is doing. Therefore, we think this jnanam also, moksha also to be done. This jnanam also should be converted into moksha by doing. There is no doing involved. That is why many people they after jnanam, after shastram, they think there's something to be done. There is something to be done for moksha. Something to be done, some experience has to be gained by certain practices, by some dhyanam, meditation, etc. No. Meditation, etc. can be a support for making the jnanam steady, jnana nishta, but it is not the means for moksha. For moksha, jnanam alone. For converting the jnanam into jnanapalam, for converting the jnanam into jnanapalam, nididhyasanam or dhyanam. Dhyanam is called nididhyasanam as the 6th chapter of the Gita. That is suggested. That also only for converting the jnanam into jnanapalam, for drida jnanam, for assimilation, not for producing moksha, because it is only through jnanam, by shravanam alone. Therefore, to work for some mystic experiences, some anubhava, atmanubhuti after jnanam, that is a problem. That is wrong understanding, wrongly understood. Jnanam is jnanapalam. Since we always want palam, some result, that experienceable result. Therefore, we tend to always work so that we get palam, some result which we can perceive, experience. But in this case, it is not so. Jnanam is jnanapalam. And you don't have any experience-based result here. You know it. It is the samsara is not there, it's not there. So it is your vision. It is your vision. Samsara is not that, means not that your physical pain, body pain will go away. That will be there. But you will have an objective understanding, objective approach towards that. Shoka moha will not be there. Sorrow will not be there. You will be a sane person looking upon everything very objectively. Atma not subject to change. Anatma cannot remain without changing. So you will have this vision and you will be a sane person throughout. That is what this jnanam is all about. Jnanam cannot remove the pain which are the pain of the shariram, the body. It has to undergo certain karma, and therefore pain, etc. will be there. So jnanam cannot make you free from physical pain. Physical pain also will be endured with the backup of this knowledge. What undergoes pain, what undergoes all this affliction is only the body. But agam sharirat binnaha, therefore that gives the strength even to bear the pain, bear any bereavement also. Therefore, Shravanam alone gives jnanam, and that jnanam is jnanapalam. And for jnana nishta only, nididhyasanam, mananam followed by nididhyasanam. So therefore, for moksha, there is no jnana karma samuchaya. That is why Acharya again and again dismisses that. Now this jnanam, after Shravanam, if it is pratibandha sagita, jnanam, pratibandha, obstacles, and obstacles, when it is unobstructed by obstacles, when it is free from obstacles, when it is free from obstacles, then means that is what jnanam, jnanapalam. When it is with the obstacle, then this jnanapalam, that I am free, agam asamsari, always agam asamsari, that jnanam which is available to you all the time, throughout the day, that jnanapalam, it doesn't seem to come because of certain pratibandhas. And this pratibandha in the form of samshaya, pratibandha in the form of viparita bhavana, etc. And that is what Mananam takes care. Mananam deals with the problem of samshaya. You have to convince your buddhi. You have to convince your buddhi. The buddhi has to be convinced. Buddhi has to be free from the samshaya, from doubts, with regard to the pramanam, with regard to the prameya, with regard to the acharya, with regard to the tradition, with regard to what is talked about in the Shruti. There is pramana, Shruti is pramanam. That itself is a very big thing. Shraddha. We say at the beginning, Shraddha. The Shraddha should be converted into a knowledge. In the beginning, there is some conviction, and that conviction is converted into a vision. Conviction becoming a vision. That is what the Mananam does. Then the Tatparya of the Shruti is clear. That Tatparya of the Shruti is clear, and Pratibandhas, all the Pratibandhas, in the form of the Purva Samskaras, the prayer orientation, prayer programming, whatever has been done. So all these are tackled by Pratibandha. Emotional problems also included. The mental problem, emotional problems, all the emotional problems. These emotional problems are the greatest Pratibandha in gaining this, in having this Jnanapalam. So therefore, that emotional problems, all these, etc., that are taken care by Nidhyasanam. Nidhyasanam is nothing but dwelling on the Shastram again and again. In fact, it is nothing but Shravanam continued. That is called Nidhyasanam. Either you do Shravanam continuously, or you sit meditating on the words of the Shastram. Both are same. Shravanam, listening to the Shastram, punah Shravanam Kurya. That itself is Nidhyasanam only. That itself Nidhyasanam. So therefore, Nidhyasanam is not meant for some new knowledge. Meant for new knowledge, or not meant for new experience. It is only to remove the obstacles. Obstacles, the pratibandha, like the viparita, the bhavana, the contradictory, the bhavana, the attitude, what we have been having in the form of the samskara, purva samskara, that has to go away. For that only, that is the biggest pratibandha. The biggest pratibandha is this, the viparita bhavana. Anadya avidya vasanaya. That avidya, in this anadya avidya, in this we have been taking, we have been so far having so many janmas. We have been deeply We have been deep into this ajnanam. And now this jnanam has come, and this samskara is so strong for this jnanam to replace that. For jnanam to replace that, it takes some time. So you have to work very alertly. So therefore, it requires a life of alertness. All the time you have to be alert, because the purva vasana that will pop up when a situation comes. When the situation comes, purva vasana will pop up. In the class, when we say Atma is Ajaha, it is Nityaha, Shuddhaha, Bugdhaha, that Sharirat, Binnaha, everything is fine. But immediately after that, in the Vyavahara, when you get into that, what has been listened to Shastram, it will not come into our application there. There again, the class it is asamsari. In the Vyavahara becomes samsari because of the power of the impressions, what we call samskaras. It has been strongly imprinted. Therefore, conscious life, alert life, the life, not taking anything as it is. After Shastra Patanam, you have to be alert, not allowing ourselves to yield to the experiences of the world. Every experience, every interaction has to be with alertness, because there is always a possibility that can pull you into samsaritvam. Because the indriyas are designed like that. Paranchikani, Vidranat Swayambhu. And also strong samskaras are there. So all these things will pull you. And therefore, you seem to be the same person before exposed to Shastram. Before exposure Shastram, you were the same person you are now after exposed to Shastram. Therefore, only the complaint is, in spite of listening to Shastram, I'm not enjoying the palam, that jnana palam, that complaint, jnana palam, not able to enjoy jnana palam is there. Because in the class, we are active, our button is on to the Shastram, only listen to what the Shruti says. Agam Atma, Sharirat, Binnaha, Asamsari, etc. The moment we get into the Vyavahara, this goes away. This is not alive that time. Therefore, only alertness, alert life. Every moment, this is jnanam is not only within the class. It has to be extended to all our Vyavahara, the activities. Jagrata Avastha, in all the Jagrata Avastha. Sushupti Avastha, no problem. Swapna Avastha, not under our control. In Jagrata Avastha, most of the time we are dealing with the Vyavahara. So in the Vyavahara, let the Vyavahara not enter into you. Be in the Vyavahara and let the Vyavahara not enter into. That is what is leading an alert life. So therefore, being a mumukshu, all these things are important. We should be taken care. If it is taken care, then there will not be any complaint about the Shastram. This is what is called Nididhyasanam. Mananam is talked about in this shloka, then followed by Nididhyasanam. So, therefore, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. These three are sadhanam, means tools, but primary is Shravanam. In this only, there are some difference of views among the acharyas in the tradition. Some people say Shravanam must be followed by Mananam and then Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam must be done for moksha. It is one view. And there are some views, Shravanam eva alam. Shravanam alone is sufficient. This is not a big difference. Even in our sampradaya, our tradition, Advaita Parampara, these two different views are there. We also, Swamiji also say the same thing. Shravanamatrena jnanam. If you are an adhikari, if you are a sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, then Shravanam alone will give jnanam. Shravanena jnanam jnanat jnanadeva jnanameva mokshaha jnanadeva kaivalyam. So, therefore, Shravanam does the job. Nothing to be done after Shravanam, provided you are an adhikari. If not, then punah punaha Shravanam kuryat. Again and again listen to the Shastram. Listening to the Shastram itself will help a person in gaining adhikaritvam. There is another thing. Adhikaritvam is gained. For that we have Bhagiranga sadhana, as we have seen Karma Yoga, Upasana, Chitta Naischalya, etc. That is for developing the adhikaritvam. After gaining adhikaritvam to a certain extent, then further adhikaritvam is developed by Shastra Shravanam. Again and again, if you listen to the Shastram, that Shastra Samskara, old Samskaras are replaced by the new Samskara, Shastra Samskara. That is good. And after Jnanam, that Shastram also be discussed. Anyway, that is a different thing. But the old Samskaras are replaced by the Shastra Samskara, that is Jnanam. That Jnanam, when it becomes Dridam, that is called Nishta, Jnana Nishta. So, therefore, if you are a Visishta Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari, then Shravanam alone is sufficient. If not, it can be followed by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. For that, we have so many granthas, etc. Or listening to his Shastram again and again. Even a Gita shloka can be taken and one can contemplate on the shloka of the Gita. Whenever you read a shloka, Atma comes. But Atma is not a third person. It is not Pratham Purusha. It is Uttam Purusha. It is myself. Replace it by Atma is Aham only. But when we say Atma, Ajaha, Atma, Puranaha, Atma, Shashvataha means as though Atma is something other than me. It is Nityaha, it is Buddhaha, Muktaha, Subhavaha. Atma is myself. It is my biography. What Shastram talks about is me. So deliberately we have to use Aham, Ajaha, Aham, Shashvataha, Aham, Puranaha. Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Na Yenam. Yenam means Atmanam. Na mam chintanti shastrani. Replace it enam. Enam is atmanam. So if the word atma makes you think as though it is a third person, replace it by aham. Na agam chintanti shastrani. Shastrani agam na chintanti. Then pavakaha agam na dagati. So replace it by agam agam. Aham atma. So in the beginning it was tat. Later that tat is tvam. That has to be deliberately brought in, understood. That aham, that in the beginning is not known, therefore tat. Then Shastram says that tat is tvam. That when tat is understood to be tvam as aham, and then when it is dridam, that is what is jnananishta. That is what jnananishta, and that is gained by nididhyasana. And that therefore, nididhyasanam, the result of nididhyasanam is same as the result of Shravanam, provided adhikari is Uttam adhikari. Therefore, whether you look upon as three sadhanas or you look upon as the Shravanam alone as one sadhana, both way it is meant only for Jnana Nishta and therefore Jnanam. Based on the Adhikari Veda, this sadhanas are there. Shravanam followed by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So here the Acharya, Vidyaranya Muni, considering the Adhikari Veda, is dealing with other Jnana Sadhanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Therefore, Yuktya Sambhavita Tattva Anusandhanam Mananam iti. And before we read the Tika, let me say something about Nididhyasanam also. Nididhyasanam we have seen before. We have discussed Nididhyasanam, if you remember, in Kathopanishad. In Kathopanishad, na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya, na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam, sudha manisha manasa vikliptaha, yayetat viduramritaste bhavanti. Dvitiya adhyaya tritiya valli. Na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya, Atma cannot be perceived. It doesn't come under your perception. You cannot see with your eyes. Na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam. Then what? Then how it is known? Atma is not available for your vision, not available for objectification. That's why yato vacho nivartante. Then how it is gained? Hridha manisha manasa vikluptaha. That is the chitta ekagrata. Chitta ekagrata is important. One pointedness, the focus. Manasa abhikluptaha. Abhikluptaha, we have seen in the Bhashyam. Abhisamartaha. Abhiprakashitaha. That is, by the mind, with the help of right knowledge, samyak darshanam, in the form of mananam, that is by manasa. Manasa means by the mind. That is manana rupena. Pashakara there said manana rupena, with the help of right understanding. Right understanding, the knowledge. Right understanding, samyak darshanam, which is in the form of mananam. Samyak darshanam means samshaya ragita jnanam, that is samyak darshanam. And that samyak darshanam is by mananam, manasa, manana rupena, which can take place abhikluptaha. It is abhisamartaha, abhiprakashitaha, abhikluptaha, samyak darshanena abhikluptaha. The form of the clear understanding, not wavering. The mind is not extrovert. Avikalpa, it is avikalpaha. It is free from the wavering. The mind is focused. Chitta ekagrata. With chitta ekagrata, with one pointedness, this Atma has to be contemplated. And the result of that is Amrtatvam yayetat yayetat viduraha amrtaha etat viduhu amrtaha amrtaha te bhavanti. Yaha etat viduhu, the one who knows this Atma, they become amrtaha. Amrtatvam is the palam. Iti, the Kathopanishad mantra we saw. The following mantra also. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhischana vicheshtati tamahu paramam gatim. That is with the chitta ekagrata, the mind which is free from wandering. Then for that, certain sadhanas are prescribed in the tradition, the Shastram. We do upasana. Saguna Brahma upasana for chitta ekagrata. Chitta shuddhi by karma yoga. For chitta ekagrata is required. That one pointedness is required. Why? For samyak darshanam. One pointedness is required for samyak darshanam. For that, this saguna Brahma upasana or Ashtanga yoga abhyasa. Ashtanga yoga abhyasa, that 8-fold steps which are mentioned in the Ashtanga yoga, Patanjali Ashtanga yoga. So, therefore, either of them, either Saguna Brahma Upasana, that gives Chitta Ekagrata, or Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa. So, by that, Chitta Ekagrata is gained. So, for Chitta Ekagrata, Saguna Brahma Upasana. So, what is Saguna Brahma Upasana? What is Upasana? Upasana is this entertaining the thought of similar pattern. Vijatiya pravritti anantarita sajatiya vritti prabhava. It is called upasana. It is upasana. And nididhyasanam is Nididhyasanam is also similar to Upasana. Only thing is, in Nididhyasanam, there is no object other than you. You are the object of meditation. In Saguna Brahma Upasana, the object of meditation is Devata, your Ishta Devata. Whereas in Nididhyasanam, the object of meditation is you. You are the object of meditation. Therefore, in Upasana, there is Veda, the Upasana, the Dhyanam is Veda Dhyanam, whereas in Nididhyasanam, it is Abheda Jnana. There, the object of meditation is you. You dwell on yourself by recollecting the words of the Shastram, which talks about you. Therefore, it is meditation on you. So the Veda Jnanam, what is there, it is knocked off by Abheda Jnanam. That is one Nididhyasanam. Therefore, as Chitta Ekagrata is required for Saguna Brahma Upasana, similarly, Chitta Ekagrata is required for Nididhyasanam. That is why in the 6th chapter of the Gita, in the Dhyana Yoga, all the preparatory steps are talked about. Bhagiranga Sadhana, Antaranga Sadhana. All these are talked about for what? For Chitta Ekagrata, for one-pointedness. And that's what we call this Nididhyasanam, Vedantic meditation. This meditation, this Dhyanam, Nididhyasanam, which can be done through Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasana or Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasana. Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam is listening to the Shastram again and again. Punah Punaha Shravanam Kuryat. That Shravanam done again and again, that itself becomes Nididhyasanam. That is called Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. Then Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam is where you sit in a particular posture. Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam, like as it is said in the Gita, you sit in a particular posture and you do meditate. You meditate on you, on the nature of you. Agam Brahma, Agam Sarvasya Adhishtanam, Agam Jagat Karanam Brahma, and looking and dismissing the Jagat as Vitya. In this thought, you get absorbed in Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. There you sit, physically you sit and do meditate and contemplate on the words of the Shastram. So Nididhyasanam therefore can be done either of the two ways. Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasana or Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasana. And in the Panchadasi itself, in the 7th chapter, later we are going to see the Acharya here discusses Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. And he said Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam is better than Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam is listening to the Shastram again and again. So it is like the pipe which has the gutter water. It is cleaned by pouring new water, fresh water again and again. So all the blocks and the dirty water is removed. So this is Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. Abhyasa is that it requires deliberation. You have to bring in the vision of Shastram deliberately. Brahma Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. And Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam, which requires certain posture, etc. It requires a place, it requires asana, sparshan bhagyan bhagi krutva. All the external objects have to be kept away, focusing your mind on focusing buddhi on the object of meditation, and preparing for the meditation, doing pranayama, etc. Keeping the body, the neck, and the head in straight position. All these prescriptions are given in the Gita, in the 6th chapter. Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. Shucho Deshe Pratishtapya Stiramasanamatmanaha Nati Uchitam Nati Nicham Chailajina Kushottaram iti. What type of asana, what type of seat, and how we have to sit in a posture, in a asana which is comfortable, Sukhasanam. All these are covered in Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, then finally Samadhi in the Ashtanga Yoga. So Yama and Niyama, they are taken care by Karma Yoga, Bhagiranga Sadhana. Then Antara, when it comes to Antaranga Sadhana, then preparing the asana, then pranayama, then pratyahara, withdrawing the sense organs, then dharana, retaining the mind on the object of meditation, that dhyaya vishaya, then dhyanam. The only difference between Saguna Brahma Upasana and Nididhyasanam is, in the Nididhyasanam, dhyaya vishaya is yourself. When you absorb in the thought of yourself, that is what is called samadhi. In the samadhi, the dhyaya vishaya, the dhyanam, and the dhyata all are resolved. There is no dhyata there. There is only dhyana. That is called samadhi. Complete absorption in the thought of yourself. And there is no the thinker, that the meditator not there. What is there is only dhyanam. So that is samadhi. And that is nishta, jnana nishta. This is samadhi abhyasa rupa nididhyasanam. So therefore nididhyasanam looked upon as this of these two types. Samadhi abhyasa rupa nididhyasanam, which we discussed in Kathopanishad elaborately. And we are going to discuss the same thing in the 7th chapter of the Panchadasi. So therefore, nididhyasanam is the next topic. Therefore, Shravanam, Mananam, and nididhyasanam. So what is Shravanam, what is Mananam? We discussed enough. And nididhyasanam also we discussed, and that is the next shloka. We will again discuss when we read the next shloka. Now let us read the tika of this shloka 53. Etavata grantha sandarbena kim uktam bhavati iti akankszayam palitam aha. What is the result? Palitam. What is that had been talked about? What is the result? What is the benefit? Grantha sandarbena etavata kim uktam. What has been talked about so far? Iti kim uktam iti aha. What has been talked about so far? It is summarized here. Ittam iti, thus. Summarize. This shloka is a summary. What had been done so far? 53rd shloka. Ittam jagato yatupadhanam ityadi grantha jata ukta prakarena. Jagato yatupadhanam is 44th shloka. 44th shloka. Jagat yatu upadhanam. Jakataha yatu upadhanam. 44th shloka. Ityadi grantha jata ukta prakarena vakyehi tattvamashyadi vakyehi. Vakyehi is equal to the shloka vakyehi is there. That is tattvamashyadi vakyehi. That is mahavakya. Mahavakya. Akhandartha bodhaka vakya. Jiva brahmaika vakya is called mahavakya. Mahavakyehi tadartha anusandanam. Vakyartha anusandanam. So starting from 44. Grantha ityadi grantha jata ukta prakarena vakyehi. The vakyas of the text ityadi grantha jata ukta prakarena. So that is what ittam referring to. Ittam referring to thus referring to the previous shloka, as told in the previous shloka, ukta prakarena vakyehi, by the sentences of the previous shloka, tattvamasyadi vakyehi, by tattvamasi vakavakya, where we did bhagatyaka lakshana. Therefore, tadartha anusandanam, vakyartha anusandanam, tesham vakyarthanam, vakyanam, arthasya. The artha, the meaning of those vakya, what is that? Jiva brahmanoho ekatva lakshanasya anusandhanam. Jiva brahma aikyam, ekatvam of jiva and brahma, anusandhanam is called shravanam. Bhavet iti. युक्त्या शब्दस्पर्शादयो वेद्या इत्यादिना परापरात्मनोः परात्मा अपरात्मा जीवात्मा परमात्मा जीवात्मा तयोः एवं युक्त्या संभाविता एकते एकता इति एकता अन्तेन ग्रन्थभेदेन ग्रन्थसन्दर्भेण उक्तप्रकारेण संभावित तत्व अनुसन्धानं श्रुतस्य अर्थस्य उपपद्यमानत्व ज्ञानं यत् अस्ति तत् तु मननम् इति उच्यते. Mananam is yuktya shabda sparshadayo vedya. That is that also the shloka which has gone before. The shloka number you can find later. Yuktya shabda sparshadayo vedya ityadina jivatma paramatmanoho yuktya sambhavita ekata. Ekata is ekatvam. Ekata ekatvam. By yukti, arriving at the ekatvam by yukti, by reasoning, ekata iti antena, up to that, grantha sandarbhena, ukta prakarena, sambhavita tattva anusandhanam, sambhavita tattva anusandhanam avagamanam, and it is sambhavita, that is upabadhyamanatva jnanam, that is called sambhavita. The jnanam which is upapadhyamanatva jnanam, which is gained, sambhavita, the possibility, upapadhyamanam, it is sambhavitam of what tattva. Tattva is the aikyam, jiva brahma aikyam. Therefore, tattva anusandhanam, shrutasya arthasya upapadhyamanatva jnanam. The jnanam which is arrived at upapadhya or upapadhya. The jnanam which is arrived at by the understanding of the meaning of the words which has been listened to. Yat asti tat mananam iti uchyate. That is called mananam. So therefore mananam is that mananam is yukti yuktaha chintanam. That is mananam. Shrutasya yukti yukta chintanam mananam. Because Vedanta Vakya cannot be against logic. Vedanta Vakyartaha na yukti virodaha. Yukti viruddhaha bhavati. So therefore yukti yukta chintanam. Yukti yukta chintanam. Contemplating on what has been heard with yukti, with logic, reasoning. Yukti yukta chintanam. Chintanam requires prior knowledge. You have to think of Atma. It means Atma should be known, should have been listened to what Atma is. That is why who am I, that inquiry we don't accept without knowing who am I. Who am I cannot who am I? How do you know that? Without Shastram. Without Shastram, self-inquiry is not possible. Because Shastra Vichara is Atma Vichara. So without Shastram, who am I inquiry is impossible. You just sit and do Vichara of who am I. You don't know Shastram. Assume you don't know Shastram. What will you arrive at? Who am I? Who am I? You will keep on asking the same question. Who am I? Who am I? You don't know who am I. Who am I only you will keep repeating, but you will not be able to arrive at who am I. So who am I? That jnanam of I am is given by Shastram. Once it is known through Shastram, then you can do further vichara, Shruti Sammata vichara, Yukti Yukta vichara. That is called mananam. So therefore, In the beginning, it is Shastra Vichara, it is Shravanam. Then Yukti Yukta Chintanam, that is Mananam, for which this Shravanam is important. Therefore, Shravanam precedes Mananam. Therefore, the self-inquiry, Atma Vichara, who am I, that one cannot take up suddenly and do without being exposed to Shastram. That creates vexation, that creates frustration, because you will not be able to arrive at who am I. Even after so many years of this inquiry, who am I, you will not be able to arrive at who am I if you don't know, if you don't have sufficient knowledge of the Shastram, or what has been taught, what has been conveyed by the Shastram. Either you must have studied the Shastram, or you must have listened to the translations of the Shastra. Either you must have listened to some classes, or you must have heard or read the translations. Anyway, that also it's a risky job, because translations or the paperback knowledge will not give the correct knowledge of who am I. Therefore, only for some sampradaya, parampara is important. So, without resorting to a guru, if a person endeavors to study on one's own, it will lead to wrong understanding. Therefore, only this sampradaya takes care of all these issues. Therefore, who am I, that vichara is impossible without Shastra. And that yukti yukta, that vichintanam, that vichara is what is called the mananam. So that is what is here. Shrutasya arthasya. Shrutasya, what has been heard, arthasya, the meaning of that. Upapadyamanatvam, tenability of that. Tenability of that, possibility of that, upapadyamanatva, jnanam, the knowledge of the tenability of that. That is the knowledge, what is the knowledge of what is heard, that now it is understood as it is, free from doubts. Upapadyamanatvam, you don't dismiss it. You don't dismiss the pramanam, you don't dismiss the prameya vishaya. Therefore, upapadyamanatva jnanam yat asti, the jnanam yat asti, tat mananam iti uchyate. That is what is called mananam. Iti shravanam mananam. What has been discussed is condensed in the form of this shloka. So, shravanam is vakyartha anusandhanam, and mananam is yuktya sambhavita tattva anusandhanam. Short, brief definition of what shravanam and mananam. Then comes the nididhyasanam. Tabhyam referring to shravana mananabhyam. Nididhyasanam is talked about, which already I gave introduction. Samadhi abhyasa rupa nididhyasanam, Brahma abhyasa rupa nididhyasanam. Here we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss taking certain portions from Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Dhya, then Pranayama, Pratyahara, etc. All those things we are going to discuss, because Vidyaranya Muni borrows certain aspects of the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali Yoga system, and we are going to discuss on this. We'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद।